I began working in peace when I was a young man. I refused to work for in the Vietnam War. I became a conscientious objector. So I refused to go to that war. And I've been interested and cared about peace my whole life. And but something that really struck is that people don't recognize peace. They don't see it they don't hear it. They don't hear stories about it. They don't see it on the news. And unless they do, it's really hard to ask them to advocate for peaceful solutions to conflict instead of military solutions to conflict. And that's really become my mission in life. And, I'm a filmmaker, and I love telling stories about film, about peace. It's been a long day. But, that's really what's important to me is to really, that's become my mission in a sense for the rest of my life is to do whatever I can to make peace more visible to people. And that's really what I want to do. My next project, we started a wonderful project in New York City to bring journalists and peace builders together so that journalists can see that there are stories, even though there's no bang bang, there's no violence, no bombs going off, but they're very powerful, very compelling stories. And we were able to show these journalists that that there are stories there. And but of course it's not enough to do it in one city. And so the next one is going to be in Brussels. And we're hoping also to do it in Bogota and Hiroshima and maybe Nairobi or in Mumbai, because we want to reach journalists all over the world to help them understand about peace building and how to tell stories about it. And my inspiration is really peace builders. I mean, because they are quiet heroes. They are heroes without guns. And there are many, many people all over the world working very quietly, very, ordinary people who are working hard to prevent violence. And those are the people that continue to inspire me. And so those are the people that I would like to see more stories of. So if you have any other questions, I can answer them. But the other thing I'm working on is a documentary film about peace building in 4 countries. Northern Ireland. There's 4 countries on 4 different continents and very different situations with regard to peace. And there's Northern Ireland, Sri Lanka, Colombia, and Burundi. Now, Colombia is inching towards peace. Northern Ireland and Sri Lanka have stopped the war, but there's still many, many issues. And they're both very good examples of how the international communities, once they sign the agreement, they just leave it alone. But to sustain peace, you need to do much more than that. You need to, and relative to the cost of war and the damage that it produces, whatever efforts we can expend to help countries in conflict sustain peace is really well worth it. And because military solutions, just manufacturing guns invites war, and we need to find other solutions. But to do that, the public needs to see that it's possible. And that's the most important thing we can do, is to demonstrate that peace is actually possible. And so this film, I want to communicate a nuanced view of peace building, and to show it works sometimes, it doesn't work. Burundi sadly is a mess. Colombia, like I said, is inching towards peace, and the other countries have, there's still a lot of issues. And so I want people that think that peace it's black and white. You know, that we either have peace or war, but it's far more complex than that.